you are basically like I forgot the word. You're using it against us instead of like looking at the reality.
I'm not trying to attack you, Daniel. Listen. I think that Ben Gvir, you
can have your opinions. Neither of us is in Ben Gvir's head. You said something that we can all verify, that he was convicted of terrorism. If you go and you now kill people because of your hate, that is a crime. What he believes or does not believe, I don't care. Really, I don't care. This bank that you call it, which is Judea Sabera, they will, if someone goes and kills Jews, they will name a street after them, and they will add a page to the curriculum about this hero. This is your both sides. In our side, we convict people. In our side, we investigate. In their side, they celebrate it. Got it? Not both sides. When something happens, you also need to see how society reacts. And this is exactly what the difference.
Daniel, you and I read the same news, so we both know that most settlers that commit crimes in the West Bank and burn down these villages are not convicted. You know this.
First of all, you don't know.
You read the same news I read.
First of all, you don't know, and you don't know what crimes. And the fact that you say that those are crimes, it's your opinion. You don't know who started. You see a video of, you know what? Masveyata, No Other Land, Oscar winning. There's a court case that was in the Supreme Court that decided that they proved no connection to this land, that their building is illegal. But the movie shows when the army comes and destroys those houses, and they portray it as the poor Palestinians are being evicted. I actually went and I read the entire script, like the decision of the court. And if you speak Hebrew, you can find it too and read it. They proved it was for 20 years in court. 20 years. It's not there. You don't know what's happening in Judea and Samaria. And you assume that the Palestinians are like, oh, just peaceful living. And the settlers, by the way, the word settler means a Jew that lives outside of, like, there's no name for this. The settler is only a Jew.
I mean, I have a question. Was I a settler because I lived in Ramat Eshkol? Because it's technically over the Green Line, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm a settler. I'm one of you, okay?
I'm not a settler. I live in Tel Aviv. And again, the word settler means it's specific.
The word decolonizer. I think we're decolonizers.
Yeah, that could work. But it's not, well, it's not colonized by the colonial force. It's colonized by people who claim ownership to the land but have no proof. Like maybe Buttercup, you can. I just want to tell you about just one sentence and I'll shut up. This Masfei after. The reason that they claimed that the land was there is because, I don't know, I think back then when they were like herding sheep, they used to pass there on their way. So because it was part of their pass, they considered it their land. No one actually lived there. And now when we have this struggle about the Palestinian state, yes, it's on both sides are trying to kind of make claims on the land. You are having a problem when Jews do it, but tell me about the illegal settlements of the Palestinians in Judea and Samaria.
You know what's amazing, by the way, Daniel? When I was there, as everybody knows by now, in April, and there was all of this construction in the Arab villages, and it was all empty. They're building like crazy. They don't even have enough people to move into all these houses from that.
Why burn down olive trees, though? What's the point of that?
I don't think
Why
anybody...
still sheep?
We are actually building, we are actually planting, not burning. They are burning.
First of all, these are very isolated incidents, number one. Number two, Norm is correct. The amount of empty organizations that have pumped money into the PA, that's number one. Number two, just to let you know, we're stopping the building. We're planting vineyards for wine. We're bringing herds in to make meal. And it is incredible what's going on. Judea and Samaria as well, just to let you know, Buttercup, if you're standing in most of Samaria, you can see the whole of the center plains of the country. In other words, you can stand at any point if you
go back
Samaria,
to the going to the top.
You can the farms and villages.
That you can see like all the way to the center.
I actually have been in Judea.
Wait a second, Buttercup. Wait a second. Where you said, Aleph, that you can stand anywhere in Samaria and see the plains, the flat plains of Israel. That's what you said.
You see the center plain of the country that stretches from north of Hadera even to a clear day. You can see all the way up to Haifa, and you can see all the way down to absolutely no way, not a hope in hell that Judea and Samaria is going to be given up for anything. And just something that's interesting as well, look at the UN resolution back in 1968, 768, after the 6-Day War. What was said? The language has been warped over years. They did not talk about territories. They talked about territory that might be used in a future peace deal. It doesn't mention what territory. It doesn't mention.
Okay, so you're not just. This is not a two-state room. This is
no, of course there's no going to be.
This is a river to the sea room. From the river to the sea, right? Is what we believe.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. Yes, Jordan is Palestine.
Do you understand how people hear that?
How would it be genocidal with 2 million? How would it be genocidal with 2 million of them live inside of Israel already? So that just doesn't make any sense. If they want to live there, they can live there. But it's never gonna be a fucking Palestinian nation there. That's for sure.
What do you mean?
That's what he's saying.
You guys called me an anti-Semite when I presented a one-state solution. You called me an anti-Semite.
After every war, ethnic group moves around. What is unique about this? Why is this ethnic group deserving special rights 80 years after the fact? There's no reason. There's no logic.
Whatever harp on definitions here, whatever you call it. I'm not going to harp on definitions, okay? My point is that I presented.
What is the genocide about relocating?
Listen, I don't know if it's genocide or ethnic cleansing or war crimes. I don't know how to define it, okay? Because I'm not a lawyer, and all I can say.
But all of them are negative. Did you notice that all of them are negative? All of them are like.
Like I told you yesterday when we talked about this, I'm not calling it a genocide. I'm just convinced by Israeli experts who claim it is.
Have you ever heard the word before?
There's been debates among.
Wait, I'm asking you. No, I understand there's been debate. Don't run away from the question. Have you ever heard the word before?
Why are you patronizing me? That's rude.
I'm not patronizing you. I'm trying to show you that you're smarter than you think you are. You don't
love her at all. So
yeah.
She's
no, I love her as a
Shanda.
maybe
I don't love auto anti-Semitic.
No, Swiftly, she's lost. I don't think that. I think she's very confused and she's very misinformed. And just so you know, I mean, the Jewish values that we have, like the humanity and the morals, this is exactly why she's triggered about, she doesn't live in Israel.
Yeah, the scary part is there's a lot more Jews like that in America, just like her. Just like her.
Guys, I have like a minute to say this. You have to correct words when people say words like that. I put it in the chat. If you all remember when Sharon sued Time Magazine for slanderous words about actions of the government or about his actions.
What are you referring to, Abby? What was said here on
that people? Ariel Sharon won a lawsuit against Time Magazine for the same kind of behavior. And that she said, I just listened to her say, well, I can use this word, that word, apartheid, genocide, ethnic cleansing. Doesn't matter. I don't know what the words mean. She said,
she has a really hard time with the proportionality phenomena. It looks like her thinking is instinctual, primatological.
Yes, a person can get sued from another country for defamation. Macron, there was somebody in America that was talking about him and his wife pretty much, and they threatened to sue the person.
That.
Yeah, and I looked it up, and I was like, wow, you can actually, people from other countries can.
No, my question was, can a country can sue?
I got another minute. They sued it. I'm about to take off. They sued in Delaware. It's in the Delaware. Shatila. Did you hear what I said?
Abby,
Just talking about.
Abby, you're talking about
For
people.
a second, because I have a minute. I'm talking about
You're talking about people. You were talking about a country.
Country can also, on behalf of the government, there are.
Yes, definitely. Have a safe flight wherever you're flying to.
Thanks.
Abby.
Yeah.
Just Just check your WhatsApp. I just sent you a short clip. You gotta look.
Fly.
Aston Harry, look at the hockey season. I'm going to come to Florida. Let's go to a game.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. Right now, I'm excited about football starting.
I went yesterday to the Raiders game to 49ers. It's weird to start football this early.
When directed to exit,
George Thorogood played at that time, which was very cool.
in a water
The
evacuation.
Raiders are going to suck again.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
All right, I'm going to get yelled at by flight attendant. Guys, I'll lose him until later.
Signs and opening.
But
All right,
anyway,
happy.
bye guys.
אני צריך לזהר שהיא פה, שאני לא יודע בשטויות, כי
In the event,
wow, I didn't know that.
כי היא יושבת על ה... ביושבים. אני מציע, אם בטרקאפ בא בחזרה, צריך לדבר איתה רק בעברית.
אני לא יודע אם כולם פה מדברים, פשוט יש לה מבטא אמריקאי כבד שלא מדבר עולם סטאריש.
היא מדברת חצי קלאץ' כזה.
היא לא ישראלית, שמע, אני לא יודע איפה המשפחה שלה, החברים שלה.
כזאת מצומצמת.
Was there ever a case of a country that filed a lawsuit for defamation? Did it exist? Does it exist? But I don't think it makes filing the lawsuit.
State of Israel.
Really?
It's very difficult though because it's a constitutional right for freedom of the press. So, you know, it's one of those things where you got to have the money to fund the lawfare. In the case of like, you know, Hulk Hogan and other billionaires.
If you ask me which one I prefer to fund, I would fund the lawsuit, and not just one. I would have a few lawsuits. And I think we should go into that. Some of the, I think 100 hostages or like victims are suing UNRWA, I think.
Daniel, I think Stacy wants to come up and speak. Stacy, come.
Okay.
Can you? Do you guys just accept? Do you accept Buttercup as just being political? I mean, because that's what I have come to learn on Clubhouse is that all communication is political. So she is literally being her little mini politician when she comes in here and obfuscates and dodges, ducks, and creates her little drama segment. I mean, I think people are just being political, and that's her way of being political. I know. I get it. He's in the Matrix, but I mean,
if you look at the chat, for example, and like the Stacy that swiftly, she's like an anti-Zionist, anti-Israel, but she's like supporting Buttercup. So if Buttercup will come back and maybe she can see who she's sleeping with, maybe it will help her.
Well, I mean, to say anybody is, the same person or similar is ridiculous. Like Bima is not Buttercup. Buttercup is not Bima. I'm just saying that even within the Jewish, you could call it political attention, I suppose.
That's because some of these American Jews have been so indoctrinated into the left woke, politics here that they strongly believe the views of the woke left, then they would have actually, where, the homeland of the Jews, where we come from. So it's pretty fucked. So it just means that they just weren't either raised by being proud Jews or had any connection to Israel at all. Apparently she says her family lives in Israel, which, I mean, doesn't mean shit, honestly. If that could be family that she doesn't have any, good relationship with at all. So, but it's just, that's what I've seen. I know Jews like her here in America. She's not the only one I've met here before that talk like that. There's plenty of them. I mean, you can see them all over the internet as well. They're, with the Palestinian flags. Notori Karta is a good example. They're pretty much like the same kind of concept what she talks about. Same type of shit. So they're all on there.
From a completely different ideology. They're not like
they do the same shit. They believe in the same shit.
Not really.
They believe in a Palestinian country. You know?
Not really. They are really just against the Jewish country. It doesn't matter what the solution is. For now, because there's this Palestinian bandwagon, so they joined it, but it's not like they really believe their narrative. They just kind of exploit it.
I think your family was here in Ramallah.
But they're using like a propaganda piece here in America.
The Shia and the Sunni could hate each other, but when it comes to like hating Israel, then they are like best friends, all right? Different ideologies, just for this cause, they are like joining hands.
The other side is taking advantage of the morality of the West. They do so tauntingly. We heard Amir once excitedly announcing, "Yeah, but it's genocide, right? It's genocide." It's like they're trying to, find the out, find the in.
Well, here's a political statement. Why would they burn down the olive trees?
Come back with why did they slaughter 1,200 people and rape and torture and took hostage and starve and destroy Gaza?
Iman Buttercup, they think emotionally. They have wishful thinking based on the moral axiom of the past.
She loves the most.
How much does she love Buttercup?
How much? Look at this here.
Yeah, you know, she who cares? She's a troll. No one cares.
Wait, what else? I didn't hear what you said.
So Buttercup's previous profile on this app was L. I don't know if any of you remember her, but her name was L on here. Not that it matters, but you know, if people change their profiles to come on here to have that type of communication, I mean, I just, you know, like to document it.
Blank slate has evolved into wokeism, which sees all cultures as equal except Western culture as evil and oppressive. It puts totally blame on the perceived powerful party, so the perceived powerless party is totally excusable.
I have an Israeli Defense League book by Kahan. These Kahanists, you know, everybody throws that term around like Zionist. And this book by Kahan is so mild in terms of, you know, aggression or, you know, extreme behavior. It's a very mild book on organizing and defending the Jewish people. So people who throw that term Kahanist, it's like, okay, well, let's read a Kahanist book and really talk about it and see what's in there about self-defense and security.
You know, we should read that book to Amos, because he's the one who throws around that term the most out of anybody on this app, I think. So that's definitely something we should read to Amos one day.
You don't need to read it. Just ask him what is a Kahanist. He would not know. Like, by the way, same as Zionist. If you would ask people what is a Zionist, they would not know. He called me a settler, okay? Today, because I don't know, one of you kicked him off the stage, and this is why I'm a settler. So those are just words, okay? Just like words that I really don't get it. Something like Zionist, no one really knows what it is.
They fall back on the same tired slogans of occupation, genocide, apartheid, because they're not really engaging, you know?
This is why I try sometimes to kind of drill down and not let them move the conversation somewhere else, because they would say something triggering, so someone else on stage will come up and take the conversation somewhere else.
It's all very primal, guys. It's monkey stuff, everything.
No, it's their safety net. Because without it, they'd have to face the complexity and admit their narrative doesn't make sense. It doesn't hold up.
And that they supported, but basically, if they would admit it, like a lot of people in the West would have to admit that they were supporting the Nazis of our days. you know. And yet, to understand something like this about yourself, they create this self-protection mechanism to kind of take down every truth, so their entire identity will not collapse.
Well, that's politics in a nutshell.
The reconciliation of justice and truth in the West is one of the most important nodes for total human justice. Right now, it's very confused, very confounded. It can be easily explained, but the people who follow that orthodoxy, wokeism, and its most extreme, will not concede those points for a variety of reasons, mostly practical, for social purposes, career purposes.
You know, on X Spaces last night, and I hear it all the time, it's that the Jews, the Zionists, have infiltrated the U.S. government, and we have to rout them out there in control of everything. There's this Jewish paranoia and insanity, you know, this Jewish derangement syndrome that a lot of people come on this app, but also primarily on X Spaces. And it's almost like a category of television or it's like a specific category that they choose to pick up every night and run with that, flag. It's very, to me, it's insane and extremely dangerous. And at 42, I had never heard this kind of, political insanity that Jews are everywhere, and they're in control of everything. It's really scary, sick. And if you ever meet somebody like that in the real world, it's like, holy shit. But the fact that people come on X and do it every night of the week is insane. It's called JQR, which means Jewish Question Radio. And if you want to get your rocks off and troll some people, go into that X space. They hold it every night. It's called JQR.
It sounds a lot like what the Nazis did. That's exactly what the Nazis did, So, shit's scary as fuck that this is happening still to this day. That us as human beings haven't learned from history, right? So, disgusting, bro. Just disgusting people.
There should be no ambivalence in the West. Anti-Zionism is anti-civilization, and anti-Semitism is anti-good.
Well, people like I don't want to say M. Kapara L or Buttercup. She's like the low-hanging fruit of that, crisis myself there. Her former profile's L. It doesn't matter. The point is, Buttercup, our sweet little Buttercup. She's not as sweet.
And, hope for his death, too. He said, I wish he would have just died. Something like that. And she, after they stopped the recording, the first thing that they say, after they stopped the recording, the first thing that they say, she says to them is, you treated him so well. My God, you guys treated so nice. I'm actually very, very proud of you guys for how you guys treated him. And one of the guys that were on there that was asking questions in a very degrading way was Soren, the guy that disappeared. So yeah, you can definitely, everyone knows his voice, and he was definitely asking those questions. So just gives you an idea of how long ago this video or this recording was. And after the fact, they were like saying, oh yeah, he was saying that it was that Shlomi was agreeing that there was a Hannibal directive, and all this stuff. And like Shlomi never. And I was listening to the whole thing. I have a little bit of it recorded too. He never said anywhere in that recording that he agreed to them about some Hannibal directive being happening there. So it was pretty disgusting to hear after the fact that she's cuddling them and saying that they treated him very nicely, when in fact anybody with the right mind who would listen to that would know that that was the complete opposite of how they treated him in that I don't even want to call it interview, but whatever the fuck it was, a clubhouse room. So of them berating him with questions. So yeah, she's dangerous. You guys need to watch out for her. Don't let her sweet voice make you guys think that she's she's really wanting to learn, because that's what she kind of said last night. She's like, I want to see if I can learn, but probably won't. So it's like, then why would you even say that? I'm not trying to make her come to our side or anything like that. But definitely how some of you guys in today destroyed her. I think that was great. That's what we need to keep doing.
You know, she's very easy to debunk. When people are quoting The Guardian and Haaretz, you're a joke. Like, that's all I can say.
I would just say that all this communication on all these social audio platforms, there's one intention, and the primary intention is to get you angry. And I really do believe that's what most of these people are trying to do by gaslighting and making extremist, profane, vulgar statements, is to literally get you angry so they in turn can get their dopamine feedback. Because
it's a clubhouse archetype.
Yeah, it's like psychology 101. It's very crazy that people want, like, Daniel, I love you, Daniel, but you have spent so long on this app getting anxiety up, your blood pressure up, your dopamine up, and I salute you for doing that. But on the flip end of that, all these anti-Semitic trolls and struggle and scream and go crazy that they've been,
I don't speak to those people anymore. I don't go to Amir's room. I don't have any patience to all this Al-Aqsa and
doesn't mean anything because the tone of their voice doesn't change the truth. So they can speak softly, calmly, even sound compassionate, but and it's not just random criticism either. For a lot of these people, it's almost like a fetish. And it's not just random criticism either. For a lot of these people, it's almost like a fetish. You know, it's like an obsession for people like Amir. It's a fetish for them. They've made it their mission to bring anti-Semitism really runs. Anti-Semitism really runs.
It's all very simple. It's all very cut and dry. It's all very aligned with what is good, what is evil. And I wish there was some rhetorical maneuver in these rooms where when Israel is put on the defensive, considering the overwhelming proportionality of how dishonest that is and how it wastes time, there should be a way, a mutual understanding that we're not doing this because it leads nowhere and is dishonest, and you're victim blaming. It's victim blaming.
Well, I think if you're a moderator or a green bean on this app, it's your responsibility to be an educator. So instead of having endless conversations with somebody like, Buttercup, I mean, it should have some type of action or to do for somebody like that to read with you and get them reading some type of, source document, something, because to let people just do their political propaganda show, you're the sucker or the patsy at that point.
But it is useful to understand them, right? It's a very good learning experience.
Yeah, up to a point, man. Up to a point.
Yeah.
Up to a point, yeah. But it's at such cost emotionally.
Yeah, there's only so much I can listen to a fucking idiot.
It is what it is. You have to be really far gone to be an active anti-Zionist. And it shows all the different kinds of hate there are, and they all come from the same bad place, different bad place.
About the genocide and the violence of the state and the evils of the state and things like that. I mean,
it's no coincidence that they're the most this and that people you know in your life. They're not so smart. They're not so educated. And they tend to be bad people, right? It's clear that that too is just personally, they're awful. I mean, the fact that it's also basic.
Some of them will read books that you recommend, but for the most part, especially in this cause, they're stuck reading Ilan Pape and some other people who who they believe are, because they're contrarians to Israeli society, that they're more factual or more honest about the facts and details. So they won't read or engage with other sources.
Just read,
because they believe it's all propaganda.
Read the Siddur Avodot Israel. You know, I mean, read anything from Sinai Publishing. So, you know, any old book out of Israel. I mean, it could be a spirit, it could be the Tanya, it could be the Torah, anything, you know, to essentially break the mind virus that has infected their soul. And I would read spiritual books, you know, Jewish spiritual education books with them. Because they're hyper politicized, and you need to depoliticize their polarity. And you can do that with, you know, Torah.
Yeah, there's some great books out there. Primary, some of the secondary books will blow you away. Jonathan Sachs, Kiva Tags,
I thought you were going to say Pirkei Avot, and it was your favorite book.
All this stuff starts with words. This kind of hatred is very dangerous. It follows the exact same pattern that led to the Holocaust. It never began. The Holocaust didn't begin. The regime didn't begin with before the Holocaust came out. It never began with violence. It began with words, with spreading lies, blaming Jews for everything, and convincing others that Jews were the threat. And the language slowly but surely poisoned society until violence against Jews became acceptable, which we're seeing now. And eventually millions were murdered. History can repeat itself. It happens in history. We hear the same kind of rhetoric today, lies about Israel, demonization of Jewish people, constant scapegoating. And it's not just debate, it's a warning sign. And I wonder, like, have we actually learned nothing from history? If this hatred is still left unchecked, it will grow. And history shows very clearly that things do repeat themselves.
Game about white structural racism, about how, you know, Ashkenazi Jews are Khazarian converts, and this was their land. It was like the whole thing is like a historical revisionism, and they want you to accept it on the spot as if there's some type of historical, you know, professor, and they're 100% accurate. It's dying on a hill and all or nothing thinking. So that's why I say you can break their mind by
facts, and they can be given evidence, yet they still cling on to these lies because there's something much deeper and more sinister driving it. So this is about ideology and resentment and anti-Semitism that gets passed down and disguised as some sort of justice. And if it were only a matter of education, you'd expect the hate to eventually disappear once the truth is explained, but it never does, which shows it's not just ignorance, it's a willful choice to hold on to the hate. So I think it's much deeper and more dangerous than just an educational issue.
So Tobias, I know I'm one of these people that you see as being misled by this ideology. And
I'm not the only one that feels that, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I understand. So I wanted to ask Daniel something, since he's from Israel, lives in Tel Aviv, and knows sort of the zeitgeist there. I know that, you know, just to give you guys some background, I grew up in this believing what you believe, the same narrative, same story, and I don't think they lied to me about anything. Then I got older and read books by Israeli historians, the new historians, some of whom Benny Morris is kind of right wing now, but the others you probably see as discredited because they're too left wing. But and then it changed my view, and it kind of it's not that I was lied to. I had the same narratives that you had. It kind of shattered my innocence because I learned about some of the massacres in Deir Bala and Lid and all this stuff, right? And I'm sure you guys had similar experiences when these IDF records were revealed in the 70s and 80s, and we found out what the true scope of what happened during 1948. And so I'm wondering, Daniel, how are these books received in Israel? For Tom Segev and Benny Morris and Schleim, like, how do you guys view those historians?
We don't really view them, to be honest. We actually, like, people, I guess, in the West read books like those about what's going on in Israel. To be honest, it's like not part of the discussion in Israel at all. But you said something about what really happened in 1948. What really happened in 1948?
Well, so this is the IDF records that were opened in the 70s and 80s. They were concealed to kind of keep this like romantic narrative about the independence. And then in 1948, the IDF opened up its records, its interviews and documentation from what really happened. And so that's where what the basis is for these Israeli historians that have
what really happened, I ask you?
Disputing the numbers that disputed are how many people died, how many people were killed. I was told most of them fled, right? And that's the narrative a lot of us were raised with. Like most of them fled.
What do you mean? Further on, we were not raised by any narrative, to be honest. I didn't deal with this entire...
Did you learn about Nakba in school? Did you talk about Nakba at all?
No. Do you know what the Nakba is?
Yeah.
It's a brand, okay? And hold on, the branding Nakba that fled, and he's actually saying even before the first bomb, our bombs, was shot, like their bombs, I mean, from their side, because they launched the war. The coward Arabs, Palestine, the majority of them fled, and the disaster was the Arab pride of 5 Arab armies that were defeated by a one-day-old Jewish state. That was the Nakba. The Nakba is the expulsion of Palestinians by the Zionists is a narrative, is a brand. For example, in his book, in this piece, he's talking about 450,000. Then it grew up to 700,000 that were all expelled by Jews, which is a lie. There were over 1 million Jews that were expelled from Arab countries just for being Jews. There is no branding for it.
Okay.
Is anyone in the world taught about the unbranded ethnic cleansing of Jews, of millions, by Arabs? Because the Nakba is a story that was created later on. The reason that I was not taught it is because it literally was just invented in the 60s. And then
you're right. Terminology aside, maybe it's bad branding. Maybe it's bad branding.
We learned about the War of Independence.
Okay, and did you learn that there were some not nice things that happened to the Palestinians then?
Okay, so when we say the word war, I think it means things don't nice to anyone.
No, but people were rounded up, and then there was the call. I think it was Ben Gurion, who was the one who made the call and said, "Yeah, just."
It's very simple, Buttercup. We created a state. They went out in all forces to destroy us. You are now here saying, "Oh, but there were some bad things done to the Palestinians." Check how many villages.
I agree that bad things were done to both sides.
There were no Palestinians back then. Back then, when you said Palestinians, you meant Jews. Those were Arabs of Palestine, many of them from Syria, from Iraq, that they came to work. The story is that they launched a genocidal war against us. This is what really happened in 48, and we defended ourselves.
Okay,
and at the end of the
I
war,
agreed.
Jordan took the West Bank and named it the West Bank.
I have not disputed any of these facts.
So this is the story. This is what we are taught.
Yes, me too. This is what I was taught too. Me too.
But we are taught. Listen, we are taught history, not branding, not
propaganda. I know. And so I'm
not like
those
words that don't mean anything. Like
so
actual history, what happens, dates.
You're conflating a different history book that I'm not talking about. I'm talking about Israeli historians who, when the IDF records of the 1948 War of Independence, the victory, they opened up the records of what happened then and who made what calls and who said we can kill civilians or can't kill civilians, and it all became public, right? That happened. Do you remember when that happened? It was a big headline.
The thing is that you did not read the records, okay?
I read the recap.
I know. Hold on. You let someone to pick and choose words and sentences from those reports, probably out of context, to create a narrative and chew it for you. If you're really interested, don't let Benny Morris, as you call it, and write the new historians, which means rewriting history. And if you want to try and find like problems, you will
an effort to talk about what Arabs see as a Nakba. Whether you consider it one or not doesn't matter, but they call it that. That's part of their shared memory. I'll ask my sister. She teaches in school, in Israeli
school. And I really hope that you're wrong, and I doubt it. that they are teaching about the Nakba, because the Nakba is a framing of the story with branding.
Let's not get hung up on semantics, okay? We're talking about the way people perceive it.
So I'm telling you again, the War of Independence, this is what we are taught, saying the creation of a Jewish state is a disaster. So no, we do not teach our children that the creation of Israel is a disaster. This is a framing that Yasser Arafat and his allies, the terrorists by the way, actual terrorists, not stickers, actual terrorists, this is the framing that they did also with this Free Palestine. And the it's
I understand you don't like catchphrases and it's annoying. I agree.
It doesn't mean it's meant to kind of catch people. It's all about emotions, okay?
Okay, but you're talking to me. You're not talking to them, okay?
No, but you are the one that are affected by this, because the emotions kind of take off the logic, and then you don't really ask critical questions.
I have the same information basis that you have. I just was added new information. I want you to help me contextualize
not
it,
the
okay?
information, the critical thinking.
I want to know. Listen,
you don't need to have all
Daniel,
the
stop yelling at me. Daniel, I'm not trying to fight you.
I'm not telling. I'm just saying critical thinking.
Okay, so help me think critically about this. Help me think critically. I just put a link in the chat. I want to know what you learned about Lida, that's today's Lud, about the massacre that happened there. What did you learn about that?
I don't know what I learned from this. Like we didn't go and it doesn't matter, because listen,
people live there now. They should know. They have their narrative of history from their parents.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, a lot of shit happened. Even on the Holocaust,
city and people grew up there.
Even on the Holocaust, hold on. Even when they teach us about, one second, I want to, so she will understand. Even about when they teach us about the Holocaust, we don't go to every city, every town, and every village. And you know what? Even like decades later, I heard stories about the Holocaust, which are like crazy, like big stories. You don't get to teach all those stories. And the war, and when you teach history, you talk about like, I don't know, like
you talk about the major battles. No, this was a major battle. The conquering of blood was a big battle.
After all the new information you received, are you ashamed to be a Jew? No, it's a serious question. Are you ashamed of?
I mean, my culture is literate, and we read
new learned information you received. Are you ashamed of your people?
No, I'm proud of my people because I think we can scrutinize ourselves and be accountable.
So
I wouldn't be on this conversation if I didn't think there was hope for our people to self-reflect.
What should be done? Are you ashamed of what we've done? Are you ashamed? Like I don't think you're really listening. I think you're more on the defense.
I'm ashamed of certain things that we've done, sure.
Are you projecting the fact that you aren't self-reflecting, Buttercup?
I don't know who said that.
I think that's fucking very important what he just said.
Listen. Wow. She just let everything go past her ear.
I'm talking to Daniel. Who actually knows
but
shit.
You doesn't listen. You just come here, and before Daniel finish, you already formulate the next question. And next question.
No, Daniel and I have been in the conversation for a couple of days now, and it's very enlightening and helpful.
You just take up people's time. And Daniel is a teacher. She's very passionate about teaching writing, right? And she find that you are very misguided, and she tries like crazy. Right? Is he? He's he.
Yeah, Daniel's a he, bro. Come on.
Buttercup.
But you think that Buttercup's a teacher?
No, Daniel is a teacher.
BB.
Yeah, Daniel's teaching.
Exactly.
Buttercup is there, Mr. Buttercup.
See, I think if Daniel did like a 10-minute silent meditation, Buttercup would basically, self-destruct, because she needs Daniel to essentially, inflame her candle.
Daniel energy, you are correct.
Danny's the only person in this room that reads anything, so it's like engaging with them.
Let other people talk to you, Buttercup.
What is going on with the dog piling on Buttercup?
Oh no, Hope is here. I go away. Hope is here. I better go away.
We better stop picking on one person, because that's not cool. But 5 different people have come from Buttercup. I've got.
before you jump on the bandwagon, nobody's picking on her. She's actually picking on herself. She's picking on Jewish people. She's picking on the fact that she's ashamed of what Jewish people have done. So before you open your fucking mouth and start like.
Oh, hi, BB. You're not going to be respectful today, then, huh? Because I said something you didn't like. Typical.
No, because you.
You and I have talked. You and I have talked many times.
But you jumped in yet again with misinformation.
I've not spoken to you for months. I haven't spoken to you for months.
You jumped in yet again.
I've not spoken to you for months.
You jumped in yet. You didn't have to speak with me. I'm in rooms that you speak and interrupt and say things that are out of context. So nobody's picking on Buttercup at all. Buttercup is picking on the fact that she's a Jew, and she's picking on every Jewish.
I said dogpiling, not picking. The two are quite different. About five different people. About five people. Well, George, you're asking her whether there's a Mr. Buttercup. Have you got children? Like asking personal questions.
We do live in a world where
people
we are
can't finish a sentence. People can't finish a sentence.
Again, I'm anticipating what you're saying, and you feel wronged by my primate expression, right? You think your status is being threatened by my primate expression, even though you probably know a little bit about me, and so you don't think it's important. What you think is important, no, it's not you.
Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
It's your brain.
Okay, my silly female brain.
I don't get you.
Sorry about that.
All you did is put a pause on.
Politicians to have a partner to have.
It gave her a breather anyway. BB, you and I have always been fun. I don't know why you're being like this, but whatever.
Request, so I'm surprised you didn't
There he is. What's up?
Yeah, so
What's going on, John?
you can see me in my PTR. That's me wearing a Trump hat, a Cubs jersey, holding the Tao Te Ching, a book, and then there's about 15 phones, live streaming me. So, your title is Clubhouse just an entertainment app. Well,
I'm saying, John, I'm saying that you're either a madman who needs to be put in a straitjacket, or you're a genius performance artist / social media artist.
I just wish I could get into a movie theater.
You can rent out theaters in Chicago, and I understand post-COVID, they've been quite cheap. You could rent out a whole theater for a couple $100.
That's a good point. You could do that actually. Yeah, just there, and then if it become a hit, obviously I'm assuming that he'll be able to get into more theaters, right? So, have you ever looked into that? You should take advantage of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'd have to do an Eventbrite and try to do a Facebook, event, and actually do a first staged theater, for Clubhouse, and make it an interactive show, like the Kill Tony show. So I think you could do a cross combo entertainment event experience for people and introduce them to Clubhouse.
How to properly lose to the hood.
See, in one house, Dr. Adams, that joke would kill it. But imagine if this interactive Clubhouse experience, and this is where I turn around and say, all right, everybody, pick up your phone and type in Clubhouse into everybody go to the one house, and the room title is How Do Properly Lose to the Hood. I like it. That's an Ebonic with the Hood. And also, Dr. Adams, I swear, you are the funniest person on this app at this point right now.
No, Adams is hilarious, and here's to highlight how hilarious he is. Adams lives in California, and he's campaigning for a politician in Illinois. Is it look right? So this is craziness. He's not even in the district.
So that was brought up. I don't know if the person wants to mention their name, but they are in this room. Why are you asking people who are not even in that district? I think that was brought up before.
And if a community organizer like Dr. Barack Hussein, Barry Soetoro Obama, a former CIA agent right out of college, and he's not governance, human behavior, all those things.
How are you, brother?
People have videos of me and pictures of me in my underpants doing yoga in the sun in my dining room, and
See, I told you.
they love to bring up my sexy sweaty PTR photos to try to embarrass me. But to me, the fact that I'm actually physically flexible and trying to exercise and stay in shape, but these, like Dr. Adams, I mean, you can call them big backs if you want, but many of these big backs keep those photos of me in their phone, and so I know that a picture of me in my underpants is in a lot of these people's phones. I find that to be what really tickles my jizz.
Yeah, Nicholas said you have cakes.
Listen, the hamstrings are very important. And Matt, I would say, how's your physical flexibility? Are you stretching? Are you breathing? How's your health?
I'm a very flexible guy. Very flexible in what I do on conversations and how I do my clubhouse rooms. And I'm flexible outside too. I know to throw some things around, throw some weights around and all that good stuff. So yeah.
I mean, you may just, Edmund, you just may be better at bending and, being flexible than we are. Our sex lives don't depend on that. But, more power to you, bro.
Thanks, Dr. Adams. And I want to let you know, your Darren LaHood crisis actor videos have gone viral, like in the terms of like 10,000 plus. And I thank you, because it's people like you who push my campaign forward, because without you, I couldn't create this content, and you're doing it for me for free. So thank you.
So how do you see this playing out? What is the final chapter, John, in this magical journey that you've taken on Clubhouse?
I can tell you, we're going to go to Peoria, Illinois, where Darren LaHood lives, and we're going to go to the Peoria Civic Center, and we are going to put on Clubhouse, The Experience. Don't vote for Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist, super debt creator, Dr. Adams and Matt Cool, One House production, co-produced by Anonymous and Nye. And the audience is going to say, wait a minute, who is this guy, candidate Congressman John Kitover, and why should we vote for him versus Darren LaHood, who's created $20 trillion in debt? So they can go back and look at all these Clubhouse conversations and say, you know what, he has been organizing, he has been raising money, he has been creating a network and a political movement of, co-interested American citizens that want to stop borrowing and spending and create a real economy, not this fake artificial borrowed economy.
Don't ignore me. I said how many?
Well, I'm going to stand on what I said earlier. I'm assuming it was streamed, or maybe it wasn't. Now it is, which is fine. But probably tonight there will be a formal title that will be proclaiming the end of your campaign. And I just want to give you a heads up on that tonight is your last night campaigning. And I hope you have some other things lined up, maybe some more book reading by yourself, or, book reading in yoga pants and whatever you do on Friday nights. But I think the campaign is coming to an end. Is that surprising to you, or how is that working out? Like, what do you think about that?
I think it's very interesting that you would project the end of my campaign tonight when I know that that is not the end of my campaign. The end of the campaign to elect John Kitover will not end until we basically don't submit on October 27th. If we can't get the, minimum number of signatures, that is when the campaign will truly end.
Which is what?
675, 600.
No.
575. What I'm trying to tell you is that hold on. Matt asked me. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Adams.
Edmund, you listen. You have to get 0.05% of the total voting population signatures. Okay, which is roughly about 3,700 people. I looked it up, Edmund. So you need a lot more than 600 signatures.
No, I think we need 3,000 to play it safe. But Matt, your projection about this evening, I look forward to coming to your room, defending my position, And I will tell you right now, you are 100% wrong, and you will live to eat those words.
Yeah, I guess we will see how that goes. But the Stand and Straight thing is an issue. I know that you've been vocal about your disappointment in finding a person to help you gather things. Pretty abysmal on the collection, or finding someone to collect on your behalf in that way. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe things have changed in the last 48 hours, but I do feel that is a big hurdle that you're going to have to overcome. The La Hood team is way ahead of you on that game.
You're correct. So, but things have changed. We did put up a new solicitation on Craigslist for the city of Chicago. I will post it in the chat. And anyone here in this room or house can also apply, or anybody watching these videos. But we did get some high qualified responses today from actual Republicans that work in digital marketing. So the campaign is rapidly taking off Monday. And again, Matt, your negative outlook and the lack of help that you provide the campaign, the fact that you call yourself MAGA and have held all these pro-Trump rooms on this app for years, the fact that you don't help out a fellow pro-Trump Republican, to me, shows a lack of leadership, character, and intelligence on your behalf. Thus, why you're predicting my campaign's going to end tonight. And I challenge you or anyone else on this app to come to that room. Bring your evidence, bring your screenshots, bring your recordings, and I will put my recordings, my screenshots, all of my media and all of my art, as evidence against whatever kind of BS you think you're going to pull out of the woodworks. And, I'm already issuing, legal ceases and desist to people on this app that are engaging in slander, libel, as well as defamation. So I would just also put you on notice, Matt, that if you don't give $10 to the campaign to elect John Kitover, you, sir, are no patriot. I am complete. This is John Kitover running for the 16th District of Illinois.
I think you have a better chance at winning the gold in female gymnastics with your flexibility than taking over Darren LaHood's seat.
Well, thanks. I'll be sure to let the voters in the 16th district know what you think, as I just clipped that, and I'll be running those ads shortly. Thanks a lot.
I told you, this man is either insane or comedy genius. It's one of the two, or it could be a little bit of both, John. That's why somebody earlier suggested, we were like, either he's a failed actor or a failed performer or a failed comedian, and I said, he doesn't have to be any of those things. You're funny as shit. I don't know why you're not a stand-up comedian, to be honest with you.
Well, see, I think even if I lose the primary, I think having this content as role-playing a congressman is actually enough content that it will essentially condition the situation in the future. So this is all performative, but also educational. So to me, this is what I think AOC is. To me, this is what I think, Ilhan Omar. I think these people are just content creators and they want to watch America burn. And the fact that I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone here. So that's why I am legitimately asking you for your support. Hakima is a campaign contributor. He has reached deep into his pockets.
Hold on, give context. Hold on, stop it.
Okay. So this is the context. So Hakima is a campaign contributor because in the Super Mojo Positive Vibration experience, Mojo did a campaign auction and Hakima was the high bidder and he got to kick Monica to the goo, which really that clip went viral too. So you see how I can't lose here? Even when we're raising funds, I'm creating content and those videos are going viral and those YouTube accounts are going to get monetized. So thank you, Hakima, from the bottom of my heart.
Why does Monica get under your skin so bad? Like, I just don't get it.
Hey, if you was in that room and saw her visceral reaction to me kicking her off stage, you would have saw why she get up. Like, why is she literally crying almost? Bro, don't let him touch me. I don't want him touching me. Then when I kick off stage, I can't cannot believe you let him touch me. Like, she's a wicked person. Like,